Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Strangers and Exiles podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Toyrek. This is my co-host, Daniel Toyrek Sr.
Hello, everyone. God bless you all in the sweet name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior.
And not Baphomet.
Not Baphomet.
Leviathan or Satan or Belial.
No Belial, no Satan, no Leviathan, all of that. It's all demonic. It's all crap. The true Savior. Put your trust in Jesus Christ, not in the worldly things, or definitely not in Satan. So.
And welcome back. We're continuing on Satanism this week. Last week we gave you guys just like a general introduction, a general explanation of the religion, in quotations. And now this week we're moving on into the part that we found most interesting in the actual religion.
Exactly. Like when I actually read through the entire Satanic Bible. I read the whole thing. In this PDF file I have, it's only 99 pages. It literally only took me a day or two to read it all. I highlighted the stuff that I thought was just way out there. There was a lot of stuff within the first part of the Bible that it was just him ranting and raving, basically making fun of people that are so dumb that they think that they need to go to a religion or that religion even exists. I didn't care for any of that because it's just, once again, a lunatic and his mad. By the way, you didn't say the like and subscribe thing.
Yeah, okay.
No, because then you'd say it at the end and everybody's sleeping.
If you guys are watching this video and you enjoy the content, if you've seen other videos, please like and subscribe and share the video. It helps us to gain more followers. I see we've been gaining a few more at YouTube.
Yeah, a couple more. I just have fun doing this with you. Like, for instance,
anything else.
Like we talked last time about getting a gong.
Yeah.
So I go on Amazon and I'm like, let me order a gong. And then $10. I'm like, cool. It comes in. Look at this piece of junk Amazon sells. It's a dinner bell. I feel like I'm out on a farm. Go. Do it one more time.
I like it though.
Yeah, and then Junior was like, "Oh, we should get like a good one." I'm like, "Yeah, those are like hundreds of dollars. This was $10." So not only did we get this piece of junk gong, let me do it too because I want to have the fun too. All right. So dumb. We not only got that, I actually found on Amazon people collect ducks for some reason. Like, for instance, if you're a woman and you own a Jeep, chances are you've already filled up your entire front dash with a bunch of ducks. Yeah. I never knew what that was.
Me neither.
But I didn't know that it was a market.
It's a culture.
Like it's like you go on Amazon and they make a duck for everything, every type of thing. They even make a little satanic duck. I know you probably can't see this. Let me try to go a little bit closer. I call him, it's Baphomet, but I call him Baffy Duck. Baffy Duck. Let me see if I can actually come over here. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Baffy Duck. It's not the actual Baphomet.
Yeah.
But it's a Baffy Duck. Look, it's a ducky. So instead of Daffy Duck, we got Baffy Duck here. The baby Baphomet duck. So we'll put him there. I know it's small, but at least I gave you guys a nice little clear view. Put our little buddy over here. I was just in shock at how many people the ducks. I mean, we were looking at them yesterday at the dinner table. There were a couple cool ones. I'm not gonna lie. You know, those are the movie ones I thought were cool. But I'm not gonna buy that. It's dumb. But anyway. Yeah. But yeah, basically, reading through this fake Bible here. Yeah, I know. You really want to hit it up, huh? You know what you should do after every chapter? Do the bing. We saw that these people not only not believe in anything supernatural, they don't believe in a creator God, they don't believe in Satan even, but not only that, they do these rituals, and these rituals are basically magic. They're basically performing a form of black magic, and there's 3 types of these rituals, right? Do you know which one of the 3 are?
Well, I'm seeing the first one, the sex ritual.
Yeah, but if you scroll down, you can see the other 2.
A ritual of compassionate nature, and the third, a ritual of destruction, I guess.
Okay, so you can either get somebody to fall in love with you, you can do something very nice and kind for the person, or you can destroy them. Destruction, yeah. Do the gong. Like, destruction. All right, Baffy. We'll do more sound effects when we get to destruction. All right, so let's talk about these three. A sexual ritual is what is commonly known as a love charm or spell. You've seen it in movies. Yeah. You've seen it all around, but guess what? They actually do it. Like, it's an actual thing. And once again, these are the people that don't believe in anything, but they actually believe that they can somehow conjure up some sort of spell or ritual where they can actually make somebody fall in love with you. The purpose in performing such a ritual is to create desire on the part of the person whom you desire. So in other words, you're a dorky senior in high school. You're the nerd, but then there's the cheerleader, and you really want for the cheerleader to like you because you like the cheerleader.
Yeah.
So you perform this ritual to get the cheerleader to fall in love with you. Okay. Or to summon a sex partner to fulfill your dream. So it's not only the dork, it's also if you want to get a girl to make love to you, or sex, because it's not really love. If you have no specific person or type of person in mind strong enough to cause direct sexual feeling culminating in orgasm, you will not succeed in performing as successful working. In other words, it can't just be somebody that you think is cute.
Yeah.
It has to be somebody that you really are
you think it's hot
to the point where you can orgasm by thinking about her.
Yeah.
Or him, whatever. So that if you're able to do that, then you will have success. If not, don't even try doing the ritual. It's a waste of time. Mm-hmm. Now they give us the reason why. The reason for this is that even if the ritual was successful by accident, what good would it serve you? What good would it serve if you could not take advantage of your eventual opportunity because of lack of desire? See, now they get philosophical.
Yeah.
It's like, even if it worked by happenstance, like you did the ritual, and it worked, what would really be the purpose if you're not really in love with her, like fervently? Yeah. Okay. It is easy to confuse enchantment for your ulterior motives with spell casting to satisfy your sexual desires. So in other words, they kind of draw a line there, like only do this if you're going to really legitly do it. Not just because, on Friday night you're alone and you want somebody to knock on your door. Yeah.
Lonely.
Yeah, suddenly out of nowhere, the girl delivering your food is also, the enchantress.
Now, the second type is the compassion in nature ritual.
Just so you know, they make a big deal. If you notice all the paragraphs on the sex one.
Yeah, that one's a big deal.
And then these next ones,
it's smaller.
Yeah, even though the destruction one is a pretty big one. The second one is of a compassionate nature. The compassion or sentiment ritual is performed for the purpose of helping others or helping oneself. Yeah, really compassionate. You're helping yourself. Health, domestic happiness, business activities, material success, and scholastic prowess are but a few of the situations covered in a compassion ritual. So if your friend opens up a business, you could do a ritual so he's successful, or vis-a-vis yourself, you could be successful in whatever it is. Health, obviously happy marriage, happy wife, happy life, all of that. The third one is the one that we were talking about, destruction. Destruction.
Oh, Tom.
Oh, Tom got up?
The table.
Tom came over here. Yeah, I don't think he liked the bells. He wasn't a big fan of the gong, I guess. Can Tom hit the gong? Will his hand allow him for that? Yeah, he doesn't want to mess around too much. Let's see if Tom can hit the gong. Tom, here. Get the thing in your hand. There we go. All right. Let's get it closer to you. All right. There we go. Yeah, buddy. My man. Tom hit the gong. All right, dude, take care. Go back to bed. All right, so the third one is destruction. This is a ceremony used for anger, annoyance, disdain, contempt, or just plain hate. Mm. It is known known as a hex, curse, or destroying agent. You've heard of those words before, hex,
of course.
Yeah. So those are the three. Obviously, now we're gonna get into it. That was just like a broad. Oh no, wait, I got a little bit more here. Whether magic is performed for constructive or destructive purposes, the success of the operation is dependent on the receptivity of the person who is to receive the blessing or curse, as the case may be. Reread that and tell me what you mean by that.
Whether magic is performed for constructive or destructive purposes, the success of the operation is dependent on the receptivity of the person who is to receive the blessing or curse, as the case may be. So the person can't be completely closed off, I guess, mentally.
No. It's like you're doing a curse because you don't like your neighbor, so you're gonna curse them. But in order for it to work, it depends on your neighbor receiving it.
Yeah. That's what I was...
But does it make any sense? It's like, oh man, cat. I'm gonna do I'll do something positive. It's dependent on her reception of it.
Yeah.
But if she doesn't know that I'm cursing her or anything, like, how would she know how to receive it? Okay, do I gotta let her know? Hey, look, just by the way, I place a curse on you. Receive it. Like, it makes no sense.
Or if it's the first one, the sex ritual with like whatever, a girl that you have a crush on, and I'm assuming we're probably gonna get into it. You have to like masturbate by yourself with the black candles. I think we saw that in the other book.
Yeah.
How is a person gonna know about that unless you like?
How's a cheerleader gonna know? Like what? You just walk around with your pasty glasses on every single day, and she's just gonna assume, yeah, dork. I'm falling in love with you because you're so enchanting. Look at you. You're like a knight in shining armor. No, you're a dork. But how is she supposed to be receptive of that? Okay, anyway, all right. Sure. Maybe the more we read, the more will be revealed to us. Let's see how Anton LaVey reveals this Satanism to us. In the case of a sex or compassion ritual, it helps if the recipient has faith and believes in magic. But the victim of a hex or curse is much more prone to destruction if he does not believe in it. Oh. Yeah, good. Okay, so wait. So in other words, in order for the pasty dork to be able to get with the cheerleader, it would be better if she also believed in magic.
Yeah.
But the victim of a curse is much more prone to destruction if he does not believe in it. So in other words, in order for the cheerleader to get down with dork, she would have to believe in magic. But if I'm doing a curse, it's actually better if the cursee, the person being cursed, doesn't believe. What logic does that make? Okay, so if I happen to want to curse Cat, I'm gonna curse Cat. Cat, do you believe in magic? Oh no, that's ridiculous. Oh yes. It's going to work now. It's going to work. But the dork, he can only get with the cheerleader if she also believes in magic. If she's the biggest Harry Potter fan ever. And she wears the Hufflepuff outfit every Halloween. All right. Okay. Perfect. Yeah.
But why does the Satanists even believe in magic in the first place? You're not supposed to believe in the supernatural in general.
We were just talking about that before we started the podcast. Yeah. You don't believe in anything supernatural, but yet you can believe that these magical rituals work. Once again, this is what we were talking about. Before we started the podcast, we were having this discussion where it almost seems like everything we said last week, it kind of, you throw it out the window when it comes to these rituals, because these rituals in essence are something supernatural. But you know what he would say?
What?
He would say, well, I'm the one that created this. I'm not expecting some father figure up in heaven to do it for me. I'm not getting on my knees and praying to some fictitious thing that you've created in your mind, some human construct, just because for the last 2,000 years of history, church history, they've told you that. So then he'll say, I am my own God. I am in control of my own. That's what he'll say. That's what the Satanists will say, you know?
Which is fine with that as an argument, but then your beliefs and your religion is strictly within the confines of what we understand as modern day science, which may or may not be true. It doesn't matter. But where does magic fit into that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I read through the whole Bible, and a lot of it was contradictory to me. But then again, remember, you're reading these sections like the book of Satan, and then the book of the other one, and then the book of Belial, and then the book of Leviathan, and you don't really know what you're getting into. Then once you're into it, you're like, oh wait, what? Because they start out giving you like a little intro, but then I'm like, all right, what are these rituals? But then when you read the ritual, I don't know if they get together and hold hands in a pentagram, or I don't know what they do. But then when you read what they do, but then you're like, I have that question. A lot of the results of these things are more in the supernatural.
Yeah.
And don't you like not believe in that? But if you want to tell me that you only believe in science or whatever, how do you explain this? How do you explain that you get sage and burn it and you get an image of the cheerleader and you focus heavily on it? But then she'll fall in love with you because you're chanting out to Satan, which, by the way, if we get to the chants, I don't think we'll get to it today, but the chants, when you read the chants, it's almost like they're worshiping Satan.
Yeah.
It's not even that they're like, oh, Satan, help us. It's almost like they're doing what we do for God and for Christ. They're doing it to Satan, but then they don't believe in Satan. That's what I don't get. So anyway. So in other words, they're using Satan to be the dork is using Satan to get the cheerleader to fall in love with him. But at the end of the day, he doesn't believe in Satan. Mm-hmm. Satan's not real. It's just a concept of rebellion. So that's really where I'm having difficulties really understanding this. So
the next portion is that we're going into now is the ingredients and the performance of satanic magic, which is more like emotions rather than actual emotions and like timing and qualities and stuff rather than literal ingredients.
No, but later on you get to ingredients.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's for the actual ritual itself. Like you have to have certain things to be able to do this, And we'll get to that.
Yeah. This first part is desire. Okay.
So yeah, just so you know that the book breaks it down into every subcategory. So the first one is desire. The Satanist performs his ritual to ensure the outcomes of his desires, as he would not waste his time nor force of will on something so inconclusive as falling a pencil off a table through the application of magic. In other words, you're not going to do a whole magical spell just to see a pencil roll off a table.
Yeah.
Like you're going to do it for something that you truly desire, like something that you want. The amount of energy needed to levitate a teacup would be of sufficient force to place an idea in a group of people's heads halfway across the earth, in turn, motivating them in accordance with your will. So in other words, the amount of mental energy just to get a teacup to lift is the equivalent of you planting an idea into the minds of people on the other side of the earth.
So impossible.
Yeah. It's like, what's the point of even doing it?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Once again, Harry Potter made it look easy. They were tossing people around. I'm like, I don't think that dude really like.
Yeah, they got a card afloat in Harry Potter.
The Satanist knows that even if you succeed in lifting the teacup from the table, it would be assumed that trickery was used anyway. Therefore, if the Satanist wants to float objects in midair, he uses wires, mirrors, or other devices and saves his force for self-aggrandizement. So in other words, the first item that you really that you have to have here in your satanic magic recipe card is desire. Whatever that you want to do, you have to really desire. It's not going to be something as meaningless as lifting up a teacup. Oh, that's Pastor Hada calling me. You want to talk while I call him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, so if you want to keep going, tell him about the timing thing that I told you.
Okay. The next, well, before we go into that, just as like a little thought for any of the viewers, I find it interesting that the writer, whatever his name is, Anton LaVey, is basically saying that even though a Satanist has the energy, the technical energy to be able to lift a teacup, that they don't do it because it would be assumed that it's trickery. But I find it interesting that even though people would assume it's trickery, that you say that it's technically possible to do so, which is also leading to the idea of the supernatural. The next aspect, we didn't really want to talk about it too much, but it's called timing. And me and my father were speaking about it a little bit before the actual podcast started. Timing is essentially the best time to be doing these rituals. And if you're doing it on someone, to a different person, they say the best time to do it is when they're asleep and when they're in the deepest part of their sleep. So they would say essentially around 5 in the morning would be the perfect time to perform a ritual, or the best time. So that's kind of the next aspect that we're going to talk about. We didn't want to get too deep into it, but just we find that funny that the best time to perform a ritual is at night, while they're asleep. Like, it doesn't make much sense really, but it's almost like you're trying to sneak into their brain with whatever you're trying to do to them. So
yeah. So the next one is imagery. So remember, we got our satanic magic recipe card cookbook here. So we have the first one was desire. The second one was timing. Now you have imagery. If you wish to enjoy sexual pleasures with the one of your choice, in other words, the cheerleader, you must create the situation you desire on paper, canvas, by written word, etc., in as overstated a way as possible as an integral part of the ceremony. So you must create the situation you desire on paper as overstated. So in other words, if how do you put that on paper?
I guess you just have to write it.
Like, but do you write her? Do you draw her?
I think you could do either, it seems like.
See, this book was written before like cell phone cameras,
Yeah.
and before like the internet.
Yeah, I wonder now you could just have a picture. Or
Can you just go on her Instagram and take it,
Yeah.
and then like focus on that? You know? All right. If you have material desires, you must gaze upon images of them, surround yourself with the smells and sounds conducive to them, create a lodestone which will attract the situation or that thing that you wish. So in other words, if it's a material desire, you know, like just stare at $100 bill all day.
That's what I was
you know,
thinking.
yeah, I mean, smell the bill. You know, rub the bill on your face, you know, like get up into the bill. To ensure the destruction of an enemy, you must destroy them by proxy. Ooh, okay, all right. They must be shot, stabbed, sickened, burned, smashed, drowned, or rent in the most vividly convincing manner.
it's brutal.
Man, that's mean, man.
Yeah, you can't just like wish for them to have a heart attack. It needs to be like
No, you have to like
to be a bad death.
really, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's gong that one up. That was a good one. Let's gong that one up. I don't know. I just like to ensure destruction that you must destroy them by proxy. They must be shot, stabbed, sickened, burned, smashed, drowned, or rent in the most vividly convincing manner. It is easy to see why the religions of the right-hand path frown upon the creation of graven images. The imagery used by the sorcerer is a working mechanism for material reality, which is totally opposed to esoteric spirituality. All right. You know, once again, this is their book. This isn't mine.
they're kind of only taking shots there at like just only the Protestant church, not even all of Christianity.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. He didn't like say, yeah, these Catholics.
Like all other religions, maybe, I don't know, like I don't see a lot of images in Islam, but
No, they're not allowed to have any.
yeah, but every other religion has images of some sort.
No. Well, we went through it. Buddhism,
Yeah.
the Hinduism, they got their colorful gods. Catholicism, Eastern or Orthodox,
Yeah,
the
they
Orthodox
have their-
Church, they all have. But yeah, the Reformers got rid of all of that. At least as far as the Protestant churches, and then Islam does not allow for any images of Allah. Like that's just not a thing.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, the next one is direction, which I don't want to talk about. Then the last one is the balance factor. I just thought that was just so dumb. It was just, I didn't even want to highlight anything.
These are kind of just like random, just, I don't know. So now the next aspect is the satanic ritual. And now we're talking about the notes which are to be observed before beginning the ritual.
No, he wrote it out. I mean, give
Yeah,
the guy
yeah.
some credit. You know?
It's actually like very detailed.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't like an IKEA furniture, like
Yeah,
a manual, like where you have to guess like which hole to put the little peg thing in. Like, no, this guy, at least he gave you the full thing, right? So this is what these are things that you got to observe before you begin the ritual. All right. Number 1, the person performing the ritual stands facing the altar and symbol of Baphomet throughout the ritual, except when other positions are specifically indicated. So when you're going to do the ritual, you got the altar, and then you have the symbol of Baphomet there, which, remember, it was the goat, right? The goat head with the star, all of that.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, it's actually interesting because I thought it was a Star of David, but it's actually upside down pentagram. And they actually explain to you why it's an upside down pentagram. It's pretty interesting. If possible, number 2, if possible, the altar should be against a west wall.
Say why?
Well, why would you think?
Well, like the western wall of.
I didn't even think of that. That was actually interesting.
That was the only reason.
No, I was just more thinking like everybody, like, don't, like, Christian, like, people pray to the east. No?
Is it like a thing?
Like towards Jerusalem or like towards Mecca.
At Mecca, yeah.
Oh, but what if you're on the other side?
Yeah.
Then you're to the west. Yeah, I don't know. Look, dude, I don't know. This guy was tripping. I don't know. Next, in rituals performed by one person, the role of priest is not required. So in other words, the dork at home, he doesn't need the priest there. When more than one person is involved in the ceremony, one of them must act as priest. In a private ritual, the sole performer follows the instructions for the priest. So in other words, the dork would be the priest in that scenario. Whenever the words
Sheham Furash.
Oh, you did it like with an accent. Like Shemham Furash. Shemham Furash. Which, what does that translate to?
Hail Satan.
Ooh, gotcha. Okay, whenever those words, the Shemham Furash, which, just so you know, that word is in a language that I feel like they made it up, but we'll get to that later on.
That's that.
Yeah, that's the what is it called? The Enochian language. We'll get to that later. Don't worry
I don't
about
know.
it.
I kind of thought it was Hebrew, just the words that are like Shem, Ham
Well,
are in the Bible.
When you read it, it's the Enochian. See, now we're getting off topic, but the Enochian is basically Latin, Hebrew, and like Greek all mixed together.
Okay.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, they took Hebrew Bible, Greek Bible, Latin church history, and then they just created a whole okay, cute. So when the words the Hail Satan are spoken by the person acting as the priest, I can only imagine the dork's mother walking by like to pick up his laundry, and he's sitting there chanting Hail Satan. Hail Satan, I really like the cheerleader. Yeah, so when the words Hail Satan are spoken by the person acting as priest, the other participants will repeat the words after him. So if you got more than one person in the room, the dork says Hail Satan, his mother says Hail Satan, assuming that she's trying to help him out. She wants him to have a girlfriend. The gong is struck following the other participants' response to Hail Satan. Yay! Good job, Junior. Conversing.
Oh, so you need a gong in his room now.
No, you need. Yeah. See that's how you know that we're not saying this, because we have the bootleg gong. We have the gong that Amazon got from Temu, and they just sold it for a couple bucks more. You know,
our Baphomet is a duck.
Our Baphomet is a duck, not a goat. I wonder if a Satan sees it, and will they get offended? Like, or they just don't care anyway, because they don't believe in anything anyway. Yeah, those two idiots with a satanic ducky and the dumbest gong ever. All right. Okay, next. So conversing, except while you do the ceremony. In other words, conversing and smoking are prohibited until after the bell is rung at the beginning. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The smoking are prohibited, and talking after the bell is rung at the beginning. So in other words, during the ritual, no talking, no smoking. Until after it is again rung at the end of the ritual. So they hit the gong at the beginning. That's the official beginning of the ritual. No talking, no smoking. It's funny that they only use those two things.
He wrote this in the 60s, right?
In the 60s. 1969.
Is it assuming that like all of these Satanists in the 60s are like potheads back then? So it's like, yo, for this, however long this ritual is, you have to lock in. No smoking, no talking.
But what I found funny, yeah, obviously back then but even smoking cigarettes. But what I found funny is that those are the only two things that he prohibited. Like he didn't say like you're not allowed to fart, or like in other words, no talking and no smoking.
Yeah.
Okay, but what if somebody wants to shoot like a line of cocaine? Like, is that okay? Like, in other words, is this funny that he says no conversing and no smoking?
Like the talking, like sure, yeah, I guess it's a ceremony, but why'd you have to include smoking? Like now that opens the door to okay, what can I do during this ceremony?
Exactly. I mean, if those are the only two no can do's, a lot of other stuff can happen. Like in other words, if Dork is in there, okay, let's just say with a couple of his friends, and then like one of his friends has a girlfriend, can they have sex quietly?
They can't say anything.
Quietly.
Yeah.
Look, obviously we're just being stupid here, but I just find some of the writings here interesting. Okay, and lastly, the book of Belial, which is what we're reading right now. Just so I guess I didn't tell you guys that what we're reading from is the book of Belial. It contains the principles of satanic magic and ritual. Before attempting the rituals in the book of Leviathan, it is imperative that you read and understand the complete book of Belial. Until you have done so, no degree of success can be expected from the 13 steps which follow. So in other words, I obviously read the entire book of Belial. I didn't study it profoundly. So obviously I'm not going to have any success using the book of Leviathan chants for it, which is precisely why we got the world's cheapest gong and this cute little fake satanic duck. But yeah, so that's what that is. Those are just those are what I would call the housekeeping rules.
Yeah.
You know, before you get into it, like, okay, these are the things just so everybody's clear, you know, no talking, no smoking, but I guess everything else is cool. You know, the gong when it hits, you know, the Hail Satan, all of that, you know, okay.
So now is the actual 13 steps, which is starting to talk about how to actually, all the specific things you need to do during the ritual.
Very good.
Which I'm reading this, it's almost like the, not to compare Satanism to Catholicism, but the way it's detailed, so detailed, like how we were reading in the priesthood during Mass, how that was super detailed as well.
Yeah. I think he wanted to recreate the book of Leviticus, but for Satanists.
Yeah.
You know, like, let me get detail. But if you notice Baphomet, you notice that the pentagram is upside down.
Yeah.
So
that's how it normally is, right? Like in all the Satanist pictures.
No, but yeah, in the Satanist ones. But in a regular pentagram, it's like the pentagram should be the other way around. Yeah, if you guys notice that the 3 points, they're in the bottom. Oh, no, the other way. And then the 2 points are on the top. So yeah, and then just so you know, I don't know if you guys noticed those Hebrew letters.
Yeah.
Those Hebrew letters that go around it spells Leviathan. So just so that maybe you guys, I don't know, whoever's into
trivia.
Yeah, this is like when you're on a cruise and then you're going to the trivia match and then you're the only idiot that gets that one right. And they're looking at you like, how do you know that? Okay. Number 1. These are the steps. Make sure I get these right, all right, Ducky? Dress for the ritual. That's number 1.
You wear like a suit or a robe?
They tell you what it is after. I don't know if they tell you this here, but I did read that the guys wear like a black robe or something like that. Okay. Dress for the ritual. Number 2, assemble devices for the ritual. You light the candles and shut out all outside light sources. You place the parchments to the right and left of the altar as indicated. If a woman is used as the altar, she now takes her position. Head pointing south, feet pointing north. Remember in his church, he used voluptuous women as altars.
Yeah.
If Dork was going to maybe use his mom as an altar, then he would lay her down there, and then her head must be pointing to the south and the feet pointing to the north. Once again, I don't. Maybe it's a pentagram thing.
Yeah, maybe.
Like if you notice the pentagram, it's the 1 point is the head, then you got the 2 hands, and then the 2 legs.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
I guess, yeah, okay, whatever. I mean, maybe I'm just making that up. Then you have purification of the air by ringing the bell.
Mm.
Yeah. The air has been purified. Invocation to Satan and infernal names which follow are now read aloud by the priest. Just so you know, the invocation to Satan and the infernal names, those are the chants that you do that are in the book of Leviathan, which is later on. Mm. But in other words, when I was reading this book, I literally had to scroll back to this page to kind of understand, you know. But we'll get to those later on, or maybe another time. Then you drink from the chalice. Go ahead, Junior. I'll drink from my chalice too. You see, so now at this point, you have to have an altar. It's either an altar or your mom, or what the dork is a woman, you know. You have to have parchments. You have to have a gong, hopefully better than this one. And you have to have a chalice that's filled with drink. And remember, we talked about it, that it doesn't have to be alcohol. Yeah. It could be Coca-Cola. It could be mateba. It could be jupiña. You know, it could be irombed.
Yeah, whatever you think tastes good.
Yeah, whatever. It could be, what do those Colombians drink? The postobon. And then the Peruvians drink that Inca Cola.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Inca.
And what's the Jamaican one?
The Jamaican is a champagne.
The champagne.
The cola champagne.
Yeah.
And the Puerto Ricans do that too. They also drink that grape, that India, La India grape one. Yeah. All right. Yeah. See, you see, it start with sodas and we go in a whole. Anybody that's not Hispanic is gonna be like, what are they talking about? Then they're gonna go to their Hispanic aisle at Publix, but then they discovered something new there.
Wasn't Jesse calling his little champagne cup when he gave him water a chalice?
Yeah, he called it a chalice, Jesse. You know, I'm taking a sip from my chalice here. I miss that dude. You got to bring him over here one day. Or maybe not. No, because then all they want is food. All right, drink from the chalice. Then, turning counterclockwise, the priest points with the sword to each cardinal point of the compass and calls forth the respective princes of hell. And they are Satan from the south. So in other words, so he also has a sword in his hand. Like you see, yeah,
you pick that
up.
Stuff you need for this ritual if you're to do in your room.
Yeah, like if you need the candles, you need the chalice, you need your mom, the dork. You need the chalice with your Inca Cola, whatever.
Sword.
You need a sword. You point to the north, south, east, and west with a sword. So and these are the princes of hell: Satan from the south, Lucifer from the east, Belial from the north, and Leviathan from the west. With the sword. That's what you do. Yeah. Then you perform the benediction with the what, Junior?
The phallus.
The phallus. Yeah. So you also have to have a phallus with you. Like, I don't know. You know, it's funny. I found, I don't know if you know what botanicas are.
Isn't there one like at that Puerto Rican place?
Yeah. There's one there. There's one there. That's where they sell the stuff for Santeria.
Yeah.
I wonder if they also have like phalluses there. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, in other words, where do you get a satanic ritual phallus? Like, I'm assuming you don't get it from the sex websites, you know.
Hey, maybe you do. But then what were they using in the 60s? Was that a thing back then?
Phalluses?
Yeah.
It's been a thing since human history.
Well, like a plastic one.
Oh, I don't know back then. I don't know. You know, I'm gonna look that up, like the Anton LaVey phallus, just to see like what, like, I don't know if it's something, like, I don't know if it has to have like a pentagram on it, like for it to be useful, or is it just any, like, can I make it out of clay, like Play-Doh, let it dry out and then that's it? I'm good.
I guess.
All right. Next, the priest reads aloud appropriate invocation for the respective ceremony. Remember, it's either lust or sex, compassion or destruction. And those, the invocations are also in the book of Leviathan, which the book of Leviathan basically has all of these chants and all of this stuff. In the case of a personalized ritual, this step is extremely important. Solitude is compatible with the expressing of the most secret desires, and no attempt to hold back should be made in the acting out, verbalizing, or casting of images pertaining to your desires. It is at this step that your blueprint is drawn, wrapped, and sent off to the recipient for your working. So in other words, at this point is when you've sent it out, and hopefully the cheerleader is receptive to it, and then, you know, things can get down.
Hopefully she believes in magic.
Exactly. Now, just so you know, this step 10, we're not done, because the steps 11, 12, and 13 require a lot more explanation. Yeah.
So I guess 11, it's called A, is to summon one for lustful purpose or establish a sexually gratifying situation. So now it's going into the next steps, but for specifically the lust ritual.
Well, yeah, we're still on step 10.
Yeah.
Like, in other words, what I just read to you is kind of the order of things are done. But now this is what actually occurs after you've done this in regards to the lust or the sex. You leave the area of the altar and remove yourself to that place, either in the same room or without, that will be most conducive to the working of the respective ritual. Then fashion whatever imagery you possibly can that will parallel in as exact a way possible to the situation towards which you strive. So in other words, if you desire the cheerleader to fall in love with you, the dork has to really fashion the imagery in exactly the way that he wants it to go down. Remember, you have 5 senses to utilize, so do not feel you must limit your imagery to one. Here are devices that may be employed. So this is what the dork could use. Graphic imagery, such as drawings or paintings. Once again, today we have technology.
Yeah.
He can have an Instagram picture out there, and he could just focus on that. You got written imagery, such as stories, plays, descriptions of desires. Like, in other words, he could have actually have written out his dream wedding with her, and he could write it out. He could draw I see us next year riding the Dumbo ride in Magic Kingdom, and then whatever. Then acting out the desire in a tableau, or play it either as yourself or portraying the role of the objects of your desire, which is transference, using any devices necessary to intensify the imagery. So in other words, now you not only have her Instagram photo, right? You not only have you writing down in your composite notebook how you wish that you could take her to eat to ride the Dumbo ride in Disney. Now you actually literally play it out in your head.
Yeah.
You literally create something that is completely fake and fabricated to the point where you believe that it's real, it's actually happening. You're on the Dumbo ride with the girl of your dreams. You know what I'm saying? Any odors relative to that desired person or situation. So if you dream of taking her to the youth fair next year, literally think about the smell of an elephant ear. Imagine the elephant ear, the smell of those turkey legs cooking, and you're walking down the midway with your girl in your hand, that cheerleader. So even odors, you can even imagine the odors of her. Maybe when he's walked by her, he's picked up her perfume, and then now he's just imagining that odor. I'm just saying, this is how intense it gets. And then lastly, any sounds or background noises conducive to a strong image. So now, of course, if you're imagining her, maybe you're imagining her saying, A, B, play, ball, go team. So you can even imagine sounds, and you can imagine the crowd, when the basketball team scores and they run out and they do this, you can imagine, yeah. And then suddenly the ring bells to end the game. And then everybody cheers and they win. And then she's out there with all the other girls. Okay. Now, intense sexual feeling should accompany this step of the ritual. And after sufficient imagery is obtained, as strong an orgasm as is possible should serve as climax to this step. So you not only got her Instagram post, You not only got your composite notebook that's basically saying that you're going to take her to ride the Dumbo ride in Disney World. You not only got the entire scene playing out in your head. You're not only imagining what the smell of elephant ears are in the midway as you take her to that Daytona Youth Fair. You're also imagining her perfume, her favorite scent. You're imagining like the scent of after she does sports. Like, is she a little bit musty? I don't know what this kid is thinking about. He's a dork. And then you're also even thinking about her cheering as a cheerleader. All of these thoughts should be enough to cause you to and climax. That's right. This climax should be attained using any masturbatory or autoerotic means necessary.
It's the first time I've seen that word, masturbatory.
Oh, that's the way they said it in the 60s, yeah. After orgasm is obtained, return to the location of the altar and proceed with step 11. So step 10, after you do step 10 is the most important part. In other words, if you go back to what it said in step 10, in the case of personalized ritual, this step is extremely important. Solitude, in other words, get to another room, especially if your mom is in the room, go to another room. You know, you don't want that going down. But so then you go. So then this was in the case of the lust of the sex, right? So now let's see what's up. What do you got next?
Next is now the compassion one, a lot shorter than the lust one. Overall, just like one paragraph.
I guess the only way to get the cheerleader to fall in love with you is to go through a lot more stuff.
What I find funny is just like how unrealistic it is. Like, you're doing all this, but like if you still don't talk to her, you still like, you know, aren't actually conversating with her. Is that gonna?
Okay, look, okay. See now.
She's magically gonna fall in love with you still.
Okay, seriously. Okay, but let's think about it. Let's think about it bigger. You're in your dark room with a black candle.
Yeah.
Let's just assume that you didn't use your mom. You have some sort of other altar. You're doing your Hail Satans. You know, I've said they stole that from the Catholic Church. Hail Mary, Hail Mary. Okay, so you're doing your Hail Satans. You got your chalice. You're good with that, with your eat on bit. Then you got your sword. You point it to the north. Satan comes out. You point it to the west. The Leviathan, whatever. Belial. All of those dudes are chilling in your room. And then finally, you perform the benediction. For either lust from the book of Leviathan, which we'll read that later on. And then you go to the corner, and then you got her Instagram photo. You got your composite notebook, made up stories, short stories about how you're going to do this and that in life. You play it out in your head like if it's actually going on. You're smelling the elephant ear from the youth fair, and you're smelling the perfume that she wore that morning. And then you're imagining her cheering and all of that. You touch yourself to the point where you come.
Yeah.
And then now you go back for step 11. And that should, like, in other words, all of that should have been transmitted somehow to her. So the next day she starts to look at you a little bit more kindly. Okay?
Naturally.
But yeah, no, we got to get to step 11. And once you get to step 11, then it'll all make sense, right?
So now is the compassion.
So now in the case of compassion, yeah, you said it's short, but the destruction one is pretty good too. Remain in close proximity of the altar. Okay, so now you don't go away, so your mom doesn't see you now. Like, you got to stay close to the altar. Remain in close proximity of the altar, and with as vivid a mental image as possible of the person you wish to help. State your desire in your own terms. Should your emotions be genuine enough, they will be accompanied by the shedding of tears, which should be allowed to flow without restraint. After this, go to step 11. So in other words, this seems like a lot like prayer.
Yeah.
This is like literally to me, but it's only going to happen if you cry. Like, if you don't cry, nah, bro, you didn't really want to help that person out, you know? I mean, look, we had a lady that was having surgery, and we were praying for her yesterday, the church, and then she got out good, and like, you know, amen. I didn't cry, but I prayed for her, you know. But I guess in this Satanism, if you want to do good for somebody, like for instance, if I want my friend's business to flourish, is that going to make me cry? Like, how am I going to cry by thinking about if his food truck is gonna do good or not. All right.
I think that one is more. Well, I guess it doesn't specify. I was thinking like self-pity, you'd be crying because of your own whatever, but it doesn't really specify that either. I don't know. It's a dumb one.
Yeah, that's a dumb one. Yeah.
Now this one's the
See,
destruction.
I feel like he had to throw something in there that wasn't about sex and destruction. He had to throw something in his theology that was like nice,
Well, I think this one is more like the sex is the lust, evil lust. The destruction is obviously wanting to cause violence. That one to me is more like the greed, like material wealth, material.
Yeah, because it's also for yourself.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Now, next one's the destruction.
I don't know. I love doing that with little Baffy. Maybe next time we do it, I'll get closer to the thing. So, all right. To cause the destruction of an enemy. Remain in the area of the altar. Okay, so now after you've gone through your steps, remain in the area of the altar unless imagery is more easily obtained in another spot, such as in the vicinity of the victim. Wait, what? Such as in the vicinity of the victim. So you stay in the area altar unless like you could get better imagery. Like, okay, if your victim is your neighbor, couldn't you just like peep through their window?
I guess.
All right. Producing the image of the victim, proceed to inflict the destruction upon the effigy in the manner of your choice. This can be done in the following ways. So this is how you're going to inflict the pain that you want on them. The sticking of pins or nails into a doll representing your victim. The doll may be cloth, wax, wood, vegetable matter. Vegetable matter. Like, what, you get an eggplant and carve it out, and then you just poke the eggplant?
I guess.
Okay, all right. So I'm assuming that most people would just use a Cabbage Patch doll, right?
Yeah.
Like something easy like that, right? Or a Care Bears doll.
I like that he's like very inclusive. Like, what if you're just poor and you need like a vegetable?
Yeah, like man, find a tomato, man, and cause that curse, Okay, so that's the first one. The second one is the creation of graphic images. So stupid. The creation of graphic imagery depicting the method of your victim's destruction via drawings or paintings. Okay, so in other words, this is now like if you want to be very specific.
Yeah.
Like if you want your the enemy to be thrown off a cliff, you literally have to draw a cliff and him like a little stick figure falling, like help. Okay. I wonder if any of these have ever actually worked. Like if Anton actually got one of these to work for real, or did he just make this all up and a bunch of idiots have just like believed that it's real?
Do you think when like it'd be crazy if a scandal came out, like when he was the priest, if people would come up to him saying, "I want to curse this guy," and he like just hires people to go kill them?
Yeah, right. He's like, yeah, we're gonna perform a ritual this Friday evening, and then like Friday at midnight, the guy's dead. All right, yeah, 2 hitmen. Next, the creation of a vivid literary description of your victim's ultimate death. So if you want to be literal there, you could write it down. A detailed soliloquy directed at the intended victim, describing his torments and annihilation. And then last would be mutilation, injury, infliction of pain or illness by proxy using any other means or devices desired.
Okay. So you get like a little doll and you like rip its arm off.
I guess you could do that, but when it says by proxy,
Yeah.
Is that like you hiring a goon to go do it? Like in other words, when I read that, that's the way I interpret it. When it says by proxy, means that it's not you. You're using someone else.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe that's how he gets it done, by proxy. Intense, calculated hatred and disdain should accompany this step of the ceremony. So in other words, once you've gone through all the first 10, when you're going through this, you have to have an intense hatred in order for this to work. No attempt should be made to stop this step until the expended energy results in a state of relative exhaustion on the part of the magician. So you have to be intensely hating somebody to the point where you like fall asleep because you're so tired. Can you imagine hating somebody that bad that like you're physically exhausted? What are you saying?
This whole energy thing is like the karma bank account.
Then he steals stuff from the Buddhism, from the Hinduism, from this and that, you know?
Now step 11 is...
but wait. When the exhaustion ensues, proceed to step 11.
So now step 11 is what do you do after the rituals? And it's split up into 2 parts.
Yeah, number 11 is A and B. A is if requests are written, they are now read aloud by the priest and then burned in the flames of the appropriate candle. Shem Ham Farash and Hail Satan is said after each request. B, if requests are given verbally, participants one at a time now tell them to the priest. He then repeats in his own words the request, and then he says Shem Ham Farash, Hail Satan, and said after each request. Then number 12 is the appropriate Enochian key is now read by the priest as evidence of the participants' allegiance to the powers of darkness. And once again, those are in the book of Leviathan. And then now to end, ringing of the bell as pollutionary. Because remember, the original ringing of the bell was what? Cleansing.
Yeah.
So now the ring of the bell is pollutionary. And then the words, so it is done, are spoken by the priests.
End of ritual.
And then the end of the ritual. So yeah, that was basically... I mean, we still have a whole lot more to talk about, but that's basically
the ritual.
The 13 steps. That is what you do to get through a ritual. And then now, of course, it keeps going on. See, now it breaks down the clothing, the this and that, like all the stuff that you need for the actual ritual.
We're at 58. We can keep on going for a little bit.
Let me see how much is left.
It's not that much just for the devices, and then is the Book of Leviathan.
Did I highlight anything in Book of Leviathan? No, I didn't. Yeah, because it was just really, I was reading the
actual ritual
things.
bit.
Yeah. It's up to you, bro. I don't know if you want to finish this or if you want to go that and then do some of the Book of Leviathan.
Yeah, let's just finish this up and then next week we do Leviathan.
Okay.
And then we'll be done after next week.
Yeah. No, that's it.
Yeah. So now these are the devices used in the ritual. Before getting into like the actual chants and things you're saying, these are the things you need to even start the ritual.
Yeah.
So it starts off with clothing. And it's black robes are worn by the male participants.
Yeah. Basically, like I remember because I read through this. The robes may be cowled or hooded. That's when you see them, like when they got the hood on there. And if desired, may cover the face. The purpose in covering the face is to allow the participant freedom to express emotion in the face without concern. Of course, if doing a destruction thing, you know, maybe you don't want everybody looking at you like, or to the point you fall asleep.
Or crying if it's compassion.
Or crying if it's compassion. Or the other one if it's lust.
You're blushing.
Stop looking at me. It also lessens distraction on the part of one participant towards another. Female participants wear garments which are sexually suggestive, or all black clothing for older women.
They don't want to see that.
He's like, no, man. No. Okay. All right. So, okay, chicks, you guys sexually suggestive. Old ladies, no. Y'all get all triple wear. He's very mean towards the older chicks. Amulets wearing the sigil of Baphomet, quack, 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 or the traditional pentagram of Satan are worn by all participants. All right.
Next is the altar, which we were talking about could be a woman, or I think it could be other stuff as well.
Yeah. No, I mean, obviously he used women to
In his church,
but it could be anything. Satanism is a religion of the flesh rather than of the spirit. Therefore, an altar of flesh is used in satanic ceremonies. The purpose of an altar is to serve at. What's up with Dork if he doesn't have a altar of flesh? Can he use like a blow up doll? Like a I don't know. I don't know how that works. The purpose of an altar is to serve as a focal point towards which all attention is focused during a ceremony. A nude woman is used as the altar in satanic rituals because woman is the natural passive receptor and represents the earth mother. Yeah, that's a good excuse to have a naked chick there. Yeah. No, honey. No. This has nothing to do with the sexuality. No. You represent Earth Mother. Yeah. Oh, I do. Yes, you do, honey. Okay. In some rituals, nudity for the woman serving as altar may be impractical, so she may be clothed or partially covered. All right.
Sure.
All right, just wear your bra and your panties on or whatever, But
Next is the symbol of Baphomet.
Baffy. Quack, quack, quack.
Oh.
I knew we were gonna have fun with Baffy Doug, but I just didn't think we were gonna have this much fun. Baphomet represents the powers of darkness combined with the generative fertility of the goat. In its pure form, the pentagram is shown encompassing the figure of a man in the 5 points of the star. 3 points up, 2 pointing down, symbolizing man's spiritual nature. That's the regular star. In Satanism, the pentagram is also used, but since Satanism represents the carnal instincts of man, or the opposite of spiritual nature, the pentagram is inverted to perfectly accommodate the head of the goat. Its horns, representing duality, thrust upwards in defiance, the other 3 points inverted, or the Trinity denied. So they say the bottom 3 points, that's the Trinity denied. The Hebraic figures around the outer circle of the symbol, which stem from, if you want to show people real quick that symbol again, just to keep it fresh in their head. The Hebraic figures around the outer circle of the symbol, which stem from the magical teachings of Kabbalah, spell out Leviathan, the serpent of the watery abyss, and identified with Satan. These figures correspond to the 5 points of the inverted star. Let me do it real quick. So you see here you have, traditionally the star would be upside down, representing man's spiritual nature. They flipped it upside down. So they were able to fit this goat into the star. So then they have the 2 up there, and then these are the 3 points, as they say, is the Trinity denied. And then these figures around there are Hebrew figures for Leviathan.
Okay. Next is the candles which they use.
Yeah, the candle is very simple. The
Yeah.
candles used in satanic ritual represent the light of Lucifer, the bearer of light, enlightenment, the living flame, burning desire, and the flames of the pit. Only black and white candles are to be used in a satanic ritual. So you can't use, like, I got a pink one out there. I can't use it.
Or a red one.
Yeah.
Next is the bell.
Oh. The shattering effect of the bell. Shattering. Go shatter that thing one more time. That was a good one. The shattering effect of the bell is used to mark both the beginning and the end of the ritual. The priest rings the bell 9 times, turning counterclockwise and directing the tolling towards the 4 cardinal points of the compass.
I think it's a literal bell. It's not a gong.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, because turning it to like ring the bell.
Oh, like the way the priests do in the Catholic Church with the bell. So what do we get this thing for?
They were mentioning gong earlier.
They were mentioning gong earlier. Yeah. Okay.
They switched to bell randomly.
Well, it might be. No, it might be the gong is used in the beginning and end.
I guess.
But then this particular bell is during the thing.
Next is the chalice we were talking about earlier.
The chalice, which take a drink from my chalice again. Thank you, BJ's, for this lovely chalice. In satanic ritual, the chalice or goblet used represents the chalice of ecstasy. What do you got over there? A Yeti ecstasy? Ideally, the chalice should be made of silver, but if a silver chalice cannot be obtained, one made from another metal, glass, or crockery may be used. Anything but gold. Why do you think that is?
Because they were using, like gold in the Hebrew temple?
That, but also the Catholic Church, everything they use is gold, all of their chalices and all that. Gold has always been associated with white light religions and the heavenly realm. The chalice is to be drunk from first by the priest, then by one assistant. That's assuming if you have rituals that have more than one person.
Yeah. Next is the elixir, which is used in the chalice, I guess, while you're drinking.
Yeah, it's what you drink, yeah. Originally, the liquor used in pagan rituals was drunk to relax and intensify the emotions of those involved in the ceremony. Satanism does not sacrifice its God as do other religions. Satanist practices no such form of symbolic cannibalism. Once again, he's making fun of the Catholic view, where they literally are eating and drinking, eating the body of Christ and drinking. So they don't have any forms of symbolic cannibalism, and returns the sacramental wine used by the Christians to its original purpose, that of stimulating the emotions necessary to the satanic ritual. Wine itself need not be used. Whatever drink is stimulating and pleasing to the palate is in order. So in other words, Diet Coke is cool. Yeah, hey, whatever floats your boat, in other words.
I guess in terms of these rituals, liquor does make sense.
Yeah, because it kind of calms you down. It gets you, but
it gets you going mad or whatever it is.
Oh, if you're mad, yeah, man, just take down some liquor and yeah.
Next is the sword.
The sword of power is symbolic of aggressive force and acts as an extension and intensifier of the arm with which the priest uses to gesture and point. The sword is held by the priest and is used to point towards the symbol of Baphomet during the invocation to Satan. It is also used as indicated in steps of ritual when calling forth the 4 princes of hell, which we went through that earlier.
Oh, now we get to next is the phallus. Maybe we get a little bit more.
Oh, let's get it. Yeah. Let's see what they tell us here. The phallus is a pagan fertility symbol which represents generation, virility, and aggression. This is yet another device which has been blasphemously converted to fit the guilt-ridden ceremonies of Christianity. The phallus is a non-hypocritical version of the aspergillum, or holy water sprinkler used in Catholicism. The phallus is held in both hands of one of the priest's assistants and methodically shaken twice towards each cardinal point of the compass for the benediction of the house. So the priest's assistant holds the phallus and like shakes it towards like north, south, east, west, and the house is blessed.
This one feels like a little bit of a reach to say that like the Catholic Church is trying to make it like a metamorphosis of a penis.
Yeah.
This one's like a super reach to me.
Of course. It's the sprinkling of the holy water. In other words, what comes out of a penis, okay. But But yeah, of course, look, when you're completely deranged and satanic, you're gonna try to come up with anything that will just refute. In this case, he's refuting the Catholic Church, and he's gonna make the phallus say, "Oh, this is just another version of what they have." Okay.
Just feels like all the other ones are like actual, just trying to make the opposite of what the Catholic Church does. But this one is just okay,
Just dumb.
whatever. I guess.
Just dumb.
It does say though, we were asking earlier, if you can't have any, I guess, official phallic symbol be used, you could make one from plaster, wood, clay, or wax, etc.
Yeah. I didn't highlight that because I didn't think we were gonna be talking about it. But so plaster, wood, clay, and clay. I just said that you can make one out of Play-Doh, so you're good. Yeah.
Next is the gong.
You're really enjoying the
like
gong. You've been having so much fun. You usually don't enjoy things like this, but you're enjoying it. The gong is used to call upon the forces of darkness. It is to be struck once after the participants have repeated the words, "Hail Satan." So that's, oh yeah. All right, I guess I said it, so yeah. Oh, look, we were talking about parchment. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, now it's parchment.
What is the parchment?
Is the last part of this.
Okay, this is the last one, boys and girls, for today. Parchment is used because its organic properties are compatible with the elements of nature. In keeping with the satanic views on sacrifice, the parchment used would be made from the skin of a sheep, which was by necessity killed for food. As an animal is never slaughtered for the purpose of using all or part of that animal in a satanic ritual. If commercial parchment, which has been made from already slaughtered sheep, cannot be obtained, plain paper may be substituted. They go through so much to then compromise with, all right, just go get a sheet of paper. No, don't kill animals. Please use parchment from a previously killed animal. We do not condone lamb chops. We don't want that. But if you can't find it, yeah, just use regular paper. It's cool, whatever. It's no big deal. Like, why are you making, obviously it's preferred, but if not, just paper.
It's kind of funny. I guess they don't take themselves too seriously.
Honestly,
I guess that's respectable.
Like, look, we're on the outside, and even we laughed at that. So it's like, okay. The parchment is the means by which the written message or request can be consumed by the candle flame and sent out into the ether. Mm. So in other words, my friend, the dork, when he draws down that he wants to do this and he wants the girl, the cheerleader and all that, after all of that, then remember, after step 10, that's when they burn it there in the thing. And if you can't find some parchment from a previously slaughtered sheep, please don't go out there, little Bo Peep, and start killing sheep. Don't do that. Please, try your bestest to look for sheep that have been previously slaughtered, that you can get parchment from them, and if none of that works, just go to Office Depot and get some paper. That's all. If you can't find anything, please don't kill anybody. Don't kill any animals. And try your hardest to find parchment. And if you can't, go to Staples. Get a pack of paper. And you're good. It's so dumb.
I have to say, Satan couldn't have constructed a better religion than one where they say he's fake. They say he's not real. And then you call upon his name. And then they don't even take it seriously.
No, but look, when we read through this Leviathan, though, see, I didn't highlight because I didn't think I was actually going to mention it. It almost seems like they literally are. Yeah, literally, even right here in the invocation to Satan, because remember earlier, step 5 was the invocation or the statement. In nomine Dei nostri Satanas Luciferi excelsi. In the name of Satan, the ruler of the earth, the king of the world, I command the forces of darkness to bestow their infernal power upon me. I mean, just from the beginning, isn't it like what? I thought you didn't even believe in Satan. You're like literally like invoking calling him the ruler of the world, the king of the world. Or is that just like them doing it, almost making fun of the way that we would say, in the name of Jesus, the king of the world,
I guess, is this their knock at like Gregorian chants or something?
I'm guessing that. But then they're using these chants during a ritual to try to get a chick to fall in love with it, with the dork, which is once again a supernatural type thing.
Yeah.
That's the part that I don't kind of understand. So,
Well, I guess we'll get into it next week, though.
oh yeah, just so you know, you have to say the infernal names if you go to the next page. Because remember, it was the satanic. You literally have to. Well, you don't have to say all of them, but it is preferred that you say all of them. Literally every name for Satan. There's like 80 of them, and we'll read those next week.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
Well, some of these, I guess, technically are Satan in the sense that they're pagan gods, but some of these are just old religions, right? Like ancient religions.
They're evil figures from all ancient religions.
Oh, I see.
Like I think obviously he didn't have Wikipedia back then, but he must have gone to the library and looked up like evil whatever and found them all.
Like Loki is on there. Lilith is an ancient goddess. Wasn't some of the Canaanite gods Canaanites worshiping Dagon as a god?
Yeah, Dagon. Yeah. Well, I don't think it was the was it the Philistines that were worship Dagon?
I guess.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But to them, that was like their god. I guess just to the Jews, that was Satan.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, they even have Shaitan over there.
Yeah, Shiva.
Yeah. Did that say Tupac? No, I thought it said Tupac. And look, Tezcatlipoca. That's obviously some Aztec type thing.
Yeah.
And then if you look at the last two, those are obviously what, Chinese or Japanese or something?
Yanlo Wang and Yao Tsin. Diabolus. Dracula. Ooh.
They even got Dracula.
Okay. We'll be getting into this next week.
We'll talk a little bit about it. Only because I think it's so dumb. But then maybe I'll go to that other book, like to see like some of the quotes and stuff, just to see, you know.
All right.
All right, Baffy, you want to say goodbye? Destruction. Our little friend Baffy.
Yeah.
Literally, after we're done with talking about Satan, I'm gonna throw him away. So you know. Oh, the producer said no. You want to keep the satanic turd? All right. She said it's a ducky. All right.
All right. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you for joining us this week with this discussion on Satanism. Again, like and subscribe the video and share with anyone you think would find this interesting. And we'll see you guys next week.
God bless you all. Take care.